Good morning, everyone. This is Minsun Song from Valdosta State University, and I have one co-author whose name is Joungyoon Hwang from Yonsei University. The paper we bring today here is Does Network Leadership Relieve Collaboration Risk in Emergency Management Networks? Basically, we are more focusing on the role of leadership, especially in the network and emergency management context. Compared to the other traditional leadership, such as transactional or charismatic leadership, um, the collaborative leadership or network leadership is a kind of pretty new concept to be adapted in this area. Our research question is this. Um, what kind of the leadership, especially network leadership really matters in relieving the collaboration risk, which has been kind of controversial and significant issues to be dealt with. So this study fills the research gap by empirically testing leadership behaviors based upon four different key dimensions from network leadership and the degree to which the leadership contribute to mitigating collaboration risk that emerges in collaborative structures. Regarding intergovernmental collaboration, it has been stresses in this area, emergency management areas, because like one single organization cannot handle all the issues relevant to disasters, but at least diverse actors based upon the collaboration can do something and anything to improve all these situations better. So those kind of the intergovernmental collaboration take lots of advantages, such as obtaining diverse knowledges. It's more like a spillover effect and information sources from their network partners. So when just like facilitating collaboration, we should deal with and manage collaboration risk. Basically, the collaboration risk is more like a participant's perception that their efforts on collective action will likely fail to produce successful outcome. Basically, it's from the ICA framework. It stands for institutional collective action. So that framework look at diverse dilemmas or obstacles that can happens when collaborating each other. So in the literature, the collaboration risk has been categorized with the three subdimensions, which is called incoordination, division, and defection. Basically, incoordination emerges in establishing the connectedness among functionally and administratively relative stakeholders. Secondly, division problems arises when allocation of joint gains from collaboration is blurred or the nature of mutual benefit from general agreement on collective goals has difficulty in distributing the gains. Lastly, the defection risk emerges that a participant does not comply with a mutual contract. So based upon those three dimensions, we will create some collaboration risk index later on for our analysis. Here's the collaborative leadership. As I mentioned before, it's sometimes called network leadership and collaborative leadership. So basically, it describes the individuals who focus on leading across organizational boundaries, and the key activities they pursue. So basically, like Sylvia 2011 and Agranoff and McGuire 2010's literature, they mentions like four key dimensions of collaborative leadership. In some literatures, they just says like network leadership, some others collaborative leadership. But basically, like types of the behavior can be four different dimensions: activation, framing, mobilizing, and synthesizing. So later on, like collaboration risk, we create some collaborative leadership or network leadership index based upon those four key dimensions. So this leadership is important because it has an impact on the effectiveness of collaborative arrangement. However, largely assume that this collaborative leadership actually results in more relationships or network ties. Hypotheses. Based upon our literature review, we hypothesize the similarity of interorganizational network leadership is more likely to relieve the level of collaboration risk. Basically, if the leadership is similar between the two different organizations, when they collaborate with each other, and their total level of the collaboration risk is less. Here's the research site. Our research site is the Seoul metropolitan areas in South Korea. There's 25 local governments in there. So data set, we use like 2015 Seoul emergency management surveys based upon the 2014 performances. So there's like three different first responder relevant respondents, which is gonna be fire station, police station, and local government. Also, main dependent and independent variables, like we just create single collaboration risk index based upon three sub-dimensions, as I mentioned before, based upon like ICA framework. And it's gonna be dependent variable. And regarding independent variable, collaborative leadership index comes from four sub-dimensions: activation, framing, mobilizing, and synthesizing. So both indexes are they just like indicate a pretty high Cron alpha values, so it's more like pretty reliable. So there are organizations type: local government and fire station and police station. We already just talked about it just before, and based upon those three different respondents and organizations, like we analyze this model, and we conduct a quadric assignment procedure multiple regression analysis by using UCNet. And then in this research, we focuses on dyadic relationship instead of one actors of property. So based upon 58 organizations, we yield like 3,306 observations. Here's the variable measures and data sources. This is the result of the QAP correlations. And finally, this is the analysis result of the QAP multiple regression model. So as you can see here, network leadership has a positively related to collaboration risk level. And basically, our the variable is based upon the dyadic relationship as I mentioned before. So when we measure network leadership, we focuses on the disparity of the network leadership style, and it affects the total level of the collaboration risk. That means like those two different actors each has different risk level, and then as I told you like before, and it's more like a dyadic relationship. That means like even though each actor has different risk level, but then just like we sum like their risk level altogether. So when we just like interpret this one, um, if their disparity is bigger and the risk level is also increases, that means if they're similar to each other, then their risk level, I mean just like their perceived risk level is less. And the other control variables like it indicates and follows like kind of pretty much the same directions that other emergency management literature emphasize or present. Here's the discussion and conclusion. So the beyond like necessity of the collaboration risk management, especially in emergency management networks, this study examines the factors, especially like leadership, right? And so the factors that either increases or mitigates the level of risk perception. So as I mentioned, I mean just like a previous page with the result of the analysis, the network leadership really matters when just like forging sustainable ties as decreasing the level, a total level of collaboration risk among the stakeholders. So if their organizational leadership style is pretty much similar to other organizations, I mean based upon how collaborate each other or the collaboration related like leadership. And so if those kind of leadership style is pretty similar, that means like when they work together or collaborate with each other, each organizations like feels like less burden or less risk burden when collaborate when just like collaborating with each other. Lastly, the disparity of the network leadership between the organizations is positively associated with the total level of collaboration risk perception. And so what we can see here is more like network leadership that can be adapted in emergency management, relational like operation and literature, and like overall this leadership can do something when we want to mitigate or decreases some collaboration risk level. So this is the what we prepare for today, and thank you for listening. Thank you.